Right, guys. So let's look today at the issue of surrogacy. I've been asked by a couple of people as to whether a surrogate mother's name can be removed from a birth certificate. Let's look at two scenarios. The first one is if it is a heterosexual couple, then yes, the intended mother, only by way of adoption, can she have her name removed, the surrogate mother's name removed from the birth certificate, and then that way her name, the intended mother's name, will be put on the birth certificate. So there will be two birth certificates: the original one, which is issued when the baby is born, and then after adoption, the first one will get cancelled by the court, and then a new one will be issued, and that will now contain the name of the intended mother. That is the only way that it can be done. An intended mother's name can never be put on the birth certificate at the first instance. That once happened to a couple. I think they were a Kenyan couple, but with British nationality. So they came and had a surrogate woman give birth for them, and then they had their names put on the birth certificate. But when they tried to go back to England, the English Home Office realized that this woman is not the one who gave birth to these children. They were twins. So they had to come back to the Kenyan court so that the court could give an order for the birth certificate to be cancelled, adoption proceedings to be fast-tracked, and then her name was put on the birth certificate, and then that way she was able to fly off with her two children back to England. So adoption is the only way that it can be done for a heterosexual couple. So what about a homosexual couple? And even before we go into that, although I can tell you the answer is no, but even before we go into why no, we have to recognize that Kenya is a homophobic country. We don't recognize homosexuality. In fact, we have gone to great lengths to try and criminalize any activity relating to homosexuality. Um, Start with the Constitution, Article 45(2). It says that every adult has the right to marry a person of the opposite sex based on the free consent of parties. Self-explanatory, as in the only type of marriage that's recognized is between a man and a woman. Section 3(1) of the Marriage Act also restricts marriage only to heterosexual couples. It doesn't recognize homosexual couples. Even when you're talking about adoption, Section 58(3)(c) of the Children's Act, it says that an adoption order shall not be made if the applicant, or in the case of joint applicants, both or any one of them is a homosexual. That is exactly how it says it. You know, we also even criminalize, the law also criminalizes homosexuality. Article 162 of the Penal Code says this. I'll just read it out for you. It says, any person who has carnal knowledge of any person against the order of nature is guilty of a felony and is liable to imprisonment for 14 years. And also Article 165 of the Penal Code also says that any male person, whether in public or in private, commits any act of gross indecency with another male person, or procures another male person to commit any act of gross indecency with him, and it goes on, and then it says is guilty for a felony and is liable to imprisonment for 5 years. So you can see that actually the Kenyan law has penalized, it has criminalized homosexuality. So it will have nothing, absolutely nothing to do with homosexuality. So if you are a homosexual couple and you want to come to Kenya to have a gestational surrogacy arrangement done, do not imagine for even 1 minute that it will be possible to remove the name of the surrogate mother from that birth certificate. There is no avenue open to enable that to happen. There's absolutely no avenue open. So what I have seen that has happened, because there have been many homosexual couples who have come into Kenya and they have had children birthed through the gestational surrogacy process. What they have done is they have just accepted that they will walk away with the name of the surrogate mom on the birth certificate, knowing that it can never be changed, at least not in the Kenyan sense, it can never be changed. And they have also not declared at all that they are homosexual. They have just made it look like they are single sex couples. Sorry, not single sex couples, single sex male, single male, single male, single male who just wanted to have a child. That is how they have done it. And because they have used their sperm, the court has allowed them, has given them a custody order where they have relinquished the rights of the surrogate mom, and they have gotten full custody over the child, processed the immigration documents, and left the country in that sense. So if that was a question that was confusing you, I hope I have shed some light into that homosexual couples definitely cannot have the surrogate mother's name removed from the birth certificate. So I hope that helps in shedding light in that.